First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the members and attendees of the Arab Federation of Accountants and Auditors Conference this evening. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Gabriella Kusz, and in addition to my current role in supporting the International Federation of Accountants, work in the Middle East and North Africa region, I previously led the Corporate Governance and Financial Reporting workstream for the World Bank's MENA Governance Global Practice. Over the past 15 years, I have had the pleasure of working hand in hand with many of you, and also of supporting the Arab Federation of Accountants and Auditors. It has been both an honor and a privilege to be able to see and to share in your organizational growth, the development, to cheer you on as you have fulfilled your ambitions, and to be there to help reorient your organizations during times of conflict, famine, economic difficulty, and financial sector challenges. Today, as has been discussed by several of the other panelists, we face the dual challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and also the economic and monetary fallout that has stemmed from the shuttering of our economies. But as someone who has watched and intimately supported the development of the accountancy profession in the Middle East and North Africa region, I can tell you that you are uniquely positioned and more able than most to support your countries, your governments, and your citizens as you rise above these challenges and ensure long-term sustainable growth for the Arab world. I can tell you that it has been more often the case that I have learned more from you than you have from me over the past decade and a half. And in this spirit, I would like to share with you my thoughts on what makes the MENA region amazing and how these attributes will help you in the accountancy profession best support your governments and economies in overcoming the many challenges that we face today. The first of these is a sense of resiliency, the never-ending commitment to transparency and accountability, and recognition of the duty to advance the profession no matter the challenge. When I think about the concept of resiliency that I've seen best portrayed in the Middle East and North Africa, I call to mind the members and leadership of the Yemen Association of CPAs. Although the country has been challenged by violent conflict, humanitarian crisis, famine, and disease, the accounting and auditing professionals of the YACPA have persevered. They've recently attained alignment with the International Financial Reporting Standards and the International Standards on Auditing, and they have stood as a center of excellence for their country in pursuing IFAC membership. The road has been very difficult, but the YACPA professionals have worked tirelessly to stand amongst you as a symbol of professionalism and commitment for the region. The second attribute that I think is important, and that to me helps to define what I have seen in the Arab region, is the concept of innovation, a future forward focus, an understanding of the need to evolve with evolving times, and a recognition of the power of change. In this respect, over the course of the few months, I have gotten to know very intimately the Association of Accountants and Auditors of the United Arab Emirates. I have had the pleasure of getting to know our colleagues, the leadership, and their vision for strengthening the accountancy profession across the UAE. Their concept for what constitutes an accountant, how best to improve the quality of financial reporting, and the role and impact that an association can have on government and economy is uniquely theirs. At times, I have found myself really enjoying the out-of-the-box brainstorming and practical work that we have done in this together. And the UAE stands as an example of how the MENA region profession is not just looking to the past, but rather embracing and preparing for the future to ensure sustainable economic growth for your people in the spirit of Pan-Arabism. I also want to draw attention to the example of the Ordre des Experts Comptables Tunis. Over the past decade, I've worked closely with OECD, drawing on their expertise in technology for the profession, as well as their understanding of the role of small and medium audit practitioners in helping to build an emerging micro, small, and medium enterprise sector. In recognition that this sector drives close to 80 to 90% of economic growth, both in the Arab world and beyond, OECD Tunisia has taken an active role in participating in the many committees within the International Federation of Accountants that promotes and expands the ability of this sector to contribute to SME growth and economic development worldwide. They have shared not only their own experiences in Tunisia, but also the experiences of all of you collectively throughout the Arab world, so that these may stand as a role model for all global associations. The last concept that I wanted to focus on and to consider as a key characteristic of what defines the Arab region and how I believe you are best positioned to address some of these challenges is your commitment to each other. Your stand as a sisterhood and brotherhood of professionals, and your belief in pulling each other along and supporting each other as you all work to better the profession for your own region and for the world. Along these lines, all of you have contributed in one way or another, and it has been a pleasure to be able to draw on your examples, your innovativeness, and your readiness to work with one another and support each other. In this line, I have worked very closely with the Saudi Organization of CPAs, the Palestinian Association of CPAs, and the Jordanian Association of CPAs in engaging, supporting, helping those who are seeking to advance and achieve IFAC membership, and also taking the time out of their own personal schedules and abilities to share lessons learned and to teach and to build capacity amongst and within each other. To me, the Arab Federation of Accountants and Auditors stands as the symbol of that cooperation and the ability to help one another. It is my personal belief that building upon these three characteristics and growing together as a brotherhood and sisterhood of professionals, you will be able to stand as a global model and example for not only your region, but the world, of how we can unite to overcome the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the economic and monetary challenges we see today and will likely see in the near future. I thank you for the opportunity to address you, and I look forward to watching the Arab Federation of Accountants and Auditors and all of its many member associations and individual firms and professionals as you work to rebuild, regrow, and reposition with a future focus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabby, for this introduction and for the remarkable speech that you have shared with us. I worked very closely with you, Gabby, to support JACBA, to support the Palestinian Association of Certified Public Accountants. And I know now you are working very closely with our colleagues in Qatar to support them to be member of IFAC, and your positive impact on our region is highly valuable. We always appreciate, Gabby, the support, and we're looking forward to more and more and more support from the IFAC and from your side. And it's worth mentioning that we at AFA are working very close with you now, trying to get a good position for IFA with IFAC to be as a partner or a technical partner or any type of partnership that we can build with IFAC. And we in Arab region feel very proud of this relationship. Again, thank you, Gabby, for your unlimited support to MENA region. مرة ثانية بنشكر الست جابي على هذه المقدمة، وهي إحدى الداعمين الرئيسيين للمهنة في وطننا وفي عالمنا العربي، وتدعم معظم المنظمات المهنية العربية للانضمام إلى الاتحاد الدولي للمحاسبين الآيفاك. كل الشكر والتقدير. احنا في اتحاد المحاسبين والمراجعين